Let's get married. I know. I will look at next week. I can't feel you good. What's Amy?
Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome. Let's stand for the pledge and please remain standing after.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. I'd like to have a brief moment of silence for a former comptroller here, Beth Ellis, who passed away last week. Silence for her dedication. Thank you. Seated, please. Okay, first item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the August 20th, 2025 meeting.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Jeff, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, carried. Okay, next, this is a Northridge inspection proposal. We have Bill Lynch here from Bartlett and Judas and Andy Youssef, who's actually talking on this matter.
Good evening. So this is our typical proposal. With the ongoing issues that we've been having in some of these developments, I requested that Bartlett and Judas be on site for the Northridge construction phase of the road. And it's $8,000, which goes in escrow. It's a time and material thing. And that's what the proposal is. So everything is already in front of you. If you have any questions, shoot, I'll try to answer them. If I can't, they'll answer. So I want to stress the importance of this. I mean, I think we've gone kind of back and forth on fees and it's expensive and everything else, but some of our developments, I've seen the results of not having secondary oversight, and it's been quite disastrous, to be honest with you. And it's kind of been a lesson learned on my end, but I can't stress enough that this is an important part because these things come back to the highway department. And when the road fails or there's issues of subgrade, it comes back on us, and the cost is a lot more. Again, this isn't a town cost, but it's very expensive when we have to fix it after. So moving forward, I'm going to recommend that these are done on every development and every sewer installation that we do as far as oversight. So I'll ask that you approve the $8,000 that goes in escrow.
I'll move that.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Andy.
So as long as I'm up here, Really jump down to, well, there's two other items, before we go to the Bridgeport extension. Are you okay with going to that now? All right, so, Tag Road construction payment, I'd like authorization to pay $112,949.55. This is part of the grant that is reimbursed by New York State. It's 100% reimbursable, but we just got another bill in, and I just looked through busing to go ahead and pay that. I don't think we need to vote on that. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah, how do they do it on schedule, Andy?
Well, they're like 5 weeks behind, but they're telling me it'll be done on the 13th, which I'm gonna say after they're done, then Aqua has to come in and repair the water main that was broken, and then we have to finish paving. So my target date to reopen the road is September 22nd. I don't want to open the road until it's paved, the water main is fixed, and the shoulders are in. So September 22nd, I think, is a pretty good date that hopefully we can rely on. And there has been some chatter out there about the road is narrower than it was, and some other things. A couple people have been nitpicking the paving. The paving is not 100% complete yet. There's been one base coat put down. It will have next year. It'll be chip sealed. The shoulders do need to be put in. And yes, the road was narrowed by 2 to 3 feet. A town road standard width is 20 feet. I'm trying to standardize all the town roads at 22 feet. That is what the road has been paved at. With the shoulders, we'll have 2 feet of shoulder on each side, which is more than enough for traffic on a town road. The other complaint was that the shoulders were blowing out in different areas, but those shoulders were blowing out because over the years the road was paved a foot wider every time they did it. So a road that's in our inventory for 18 feet is 24 feet wide, and there's no sub base under those shoulders. So those shoulders have all been milled out. The road is paved back to where it should be, and hopefully everything will be good going forward. So a little explanation on that. My next item is I'd like to amend the purchase of the 2025 Ford F-250. We had approved this a couple months ago. The truck was supposed to be ordered. I was told it was ordered and it was kicked out of the order bank because the order bank was full. I'm not sure I'm completely buying that, but they found this one and it's $1,178 more than the original quote, which I'm okay with. I think it's an option thing. It really didn't go through with a fine-tooth comb. But it's a 2025 Ford F-250 with plow equipment. The price is $60,600.45. I'd like approval for that, which is $1,178 more than the one that you approved a couple months ago. So I'm asking for approval for that. That truck is in stock, and we can have it hopefully before winter hits, because we're kind of desperate.
I see that still in the OGS.
Yes, correct.
I'll second Terry. Dave?
The roll call.
Councilman Albright.
I'm an aye.
Councilman Martin.
I'm an aye.
Supervisor Daniel.
Aye.
Council Cannon.
Aye.
Council Page.
That's all I have.
That's all you got.
Thanks.
That's it? All right, that's enough. No, that's good. You're on the agenda, you're okay. Next on our agenda is the Poolsbrook sewer discussion. Okay, and we have Bob French here with us tonight to explain this situation over in Poolsbrook.
I believe you all have a copy of the agreement that I sent out a couple of weeks ago. So to give you a little background, probably 17 years ago, we built a new sewer treatment plant, and we required all village taxpayers to come up with a capital improvement, which at that point was $1. It's since been reduced, it was reduced down to 90. Now it's back up to 95 cents per assessed your assessed value. I came down and spoke to the previous supervisor, and he informed me that I signed that agreement, come back and see him in 17 years. So I'm back to see you in 17 years. And let you know that the residents of the town of Sullivan and Poolsbrook have skated for 17 years, while all the village of Chittenango residents and all the residents in Onondaga County and Megan Farms have been paying their fair share. So I would ask that in this new agreement, that this is rolled into the agreement. It is gonna be an additional cost, and to try to make up for some of the pain that this will cause, and anytime you want somebody to pay something, that's pain, I'm willing to change the way that we do our billing. Again, 21 years ago, there was an engineer that determined that a household used X amount of gallons of water, and today I think that the town residents in Poolsbrook are paying $550, $560.
It's under $600.
Okay, under $600. If you're a family of two, that's probably a lot, because you're not using that much water. So in this new proposal, I propose that we go back to billing the town instead of once a year, putting you on my quarterly billing schedule, that I bill all village residents, and giving you, bill you for what water you use, not what an engineer said you were going to use. That's gonna help a fair amount of people. For those that are out there watering their lawn and using the water, it's not gonna help them. But there are, a fair amount of people I think this will help. Because we've looked at the records from Onondaga County Water. Other than that, the agreement is just like it was before. We've had a couple of board members that were not happy with the agreement that Nadine prepared for us, and they thought the town should be kicking in more. We need a new generator, our new generator for the one that we have is 20 some odd years old. The repair guy's telling us that, parts are limited. I don't know if I totally believe that, but again, it's 20 years old. So I basically said, look, I don't believe that we're collecting the funds from that we should set up a separate reserve account, and if something happens like the generator quits, then that should come out of the reserve. There was, before I came back 2 years ago, there was a $50,000 to $100,000 bill to rebuild some pumps or something in there, and that's what they were squawking about. They had to pay them. Had they set up a reserve a long time ago, that wouldn't have been an issue. Other than that, the terms of the agreement are the same. You have both an intermunicipal agreement, John, I think you have a copy of that, and a lease on the system, and everything else is pretty much the same. It's another 20-year agreement. So if anybody has any questions, I can try to answer them for you.
I just have one. Can we get a breakdown of what the cost difference is going to be, like for the average resident?
If you know what your assessed value is, so if your assessed value was $200,000, that would be what, $190 at 95 cents a thousand.
But what about the usage charge now? Because right now
I don't know, because I don't know how much water you use. So if you're the individual that's not using 70,000 gallons of water a year, say you're only using 40,000.
But you could give me a breakdown. You could figure out a breakdown.
I could go back at the records, look at what your bill is,
Or anybody in the day,
or anybody's, and tell you basically what
I'd just like to see some of them come out and ask what's changing.
Yeah.
Because they're only getting hit with an extra $200 to $400 difference.
Right.
Based on house values. But if you say we're using 70,000 gallons, which most people don't.
Right.
You're right on the money, you're just like, what the difference is. So when I talk to the residents, they know, I can explain to them what the difference is.
Yeah.
That's fair?
I'm gonna get a handful of comments, so I'll get to you offline.
Yeah, no, that's fine. No one else?
It'd be just nice to let these residents know that this
Oh,
cost
no,
is.
no, I think they should. And at the same time, I think you need to let them know that for 17 years, they have not been paying what everybody else around is paying for that upgrade. Now, our plant is in pretty good shape. We just did $1.5 million upgrade, but we're probably pretty close to be forced into putting in an ultraviolet system for disinfection, to get away from chlorine. That's only a matter of time. They just renewed our permit, but they're telling me within the next 5 years, you better have ultraviolet or you will not be renewed. So we have, and that's a pretty large scale investment. So, John, just want to send me your questions.
Thank you. Bob, you want to speak to about the possibility of the building in Chittenango for parks?
Do that, now I get to talk on two things.
Yeah, this is
All right.
a new for everybody here too.
So, most of you know the Village of Chittenango got a $4.5 million grant for, it's called the New York Forward Grant. And there's a lot of moving parts to this. One of the things that we were very hopeful that would happen would be that Ryan Powell, who is located down on Pottery Road and Water Street, the intersection at the old Vibercast building right there, that he was going to build a indoor facility at which I've had several meetings with him, and we said, look, it needs to be more than an indoor facility for you, because I think probably everybody knows you're about to lose Lake Street as a gym. That's going to be converted into apartments. I guess you may have just signed a 1-year lease, but after that, you're not going to have a gym, and that gym is probably a pretty important thing to the community. So we were working real hard with Ryan. We thought it was going to work out until I brought legal counsel in, and she advised me that you just can't take a piece of public property and let somebody build a private facility on it unless you have all kinds of rules, like he could build a $3 million building, but we had to control it. That didn't go over well. So I went down and looked at the old John Deere building on Genesee Street that was for sale. I called up S&N Partners, talked to the chief fiscal officer out of Montana, tried to get a price on it. He was very hesitant on giving me a price. I said to him, you know, being a salesperson, I kind of said to him, hey, how about I put your name on the side of this building and you give me a really good deal on buying this? He said, we might be able to work something out with that. So I cannot use New York Forward money to purchase a building, but I can use another grant process called New York Brick to buy. You can buy and build with that. Unfortunately, I had 10 days in which to get an application together to do this, and it didn't work. So then I reached out to the Central New York Community Foundation, same thing. We'll give you money, you get the property, we'll give you money to help you build this, but we don't give you money to buy something. So we know that the village is not in a position to buy something like this. At that point, I gave Tom a call and took Tom down there and said, what about if we do a joint venture between the village and the town? You know, we can use the town to purchase the building, and we can use the village money to retrofit the building. So we would make the necessary repairs to the front part, handicap bathrooms. It has a lot of different uses, but it's not big enough for a full-size basketball court. So I reached out to a contractor. I got a price to do that. It's just under $1 million, and I submitted a proposal to New York State, New York Forward, that we, you know, potentially buy this building and then retrofit the building to bring it up to code, that have handicap bathroom and everything else it needed, and then to also build a 80 by 130 foot building. Hardwood floors, bleachers down one side, handicap bathrooms, all of that we can build for just under $1 million. It's not going to be fancy with brickwork. It would probably have much siding like the building that's there, a lot of the work that needs to be done and for parking lots and stuff like that. DPW can do all that. DPW can do a lot of the other work. We probably do excavation for foundations and stuff like that, to even lower the cost. So that's in the proposal right now. And I'm probably the first time, because we've been trying to keep this really low key, because won't be low key after night, because I'm probably on TV. There's two other people that are interested in buying the building, and I didn't want the building to get sold out from underneath us. So I'm not sure if it's something that the town has an interest in doing or not. And we would do it as a joint venture between the village and the town. I would hope that if we did it, we could get the town parks and recs to basically run the gyms and stuff, because we do not have a rec department, nor am I looking to be a rec department. You already have something that works very well. And you're already organized in Lake Street. It would just be shifting your venues from one to the other. One of the things that I see a lot of, actually in my family, they do it 3 times a year for 3 kids. They go down to the United Armory, and it's you rent that 3-hour blocks. It's $150. They got 2 bouncy houses in there and some basketball hoops. They throw up a couple of tables for you. I mean, and there's a lot of people from Chittenango that are driving to Oneida because there's no place around here to do something like that. And when we did the input from the public, a lot of the public is looking for some kind of a rec center or some kind of a recreational facility to support the kids. That was almost one of the #1 priorities. And the state felt it had a pretty good chance of being funded. So, and I would also, if we were to move forward with that, actually see if I could reach back out to the Central New York Community Foundation, which said, geez, I can't give you money to buy it, but if you have it, come on back and we'll help you out. So, anybody have any questions on that?
Enough parking there?
There's 1.6 acres.
Not for parking.
Huh?
Not for parking. I know you guys looked at something and you had that size space or bigger, and we couldn't fit the parking. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we would do the same thing you were looking to do. We would do additional parking. I mean, I could go right across the street to my friend John Sorbello, probably, and work a deal with John, who's got that big parking lot. I got the Chittenango Foundry right behind it. It basically is not using that part of the parking lot at that time of night. So, I mean, if there was not, and I'm not saying there isn't, because I'm not 100% sure. I mean, there's I don't know, the parking's probably determined on the size of the building, I would assume. I could tell you this, there's a heck of a lot more parking than what you're trying to use at Lake Street. Unless you want to park around the back of the school and walk. I mean, those are issues that I think can all be worked out. But if this is something that we want to move on, I was on a conference call with what we call the core team on Tuesday. Lou and I do a meeting with them every other Tuesday. And it's something that within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we need to decide if we're going to do it, so they move this project up in the queue. If it's not something you're interested in, that's fine too.
First time in brought to my attention, so I gotta think about that.
It's just, yeah,
I like the idea.
Yeah, my big question is who's gonna, the town fund it, which means we'd have to buy it, because we don't have it. Now, Eric, do we have that kind of cash laying around? I'm guessing you'll have 800,000 probably buy this building.
That's a good a deal I get.
Yeah.
And then what are the, what are the ongoing costs? Because that's, I
Well, you
think, one
got
of the biggest.
utilities and things like that.
All right, and then for $150, I'm not sure you can cover those. That's the only, somebody will have to bear those costs, and I hate to build it and then not know what we're gonna spend our money on.
Right.
So if we have those numbers, it's easier to make a decision.
Yeah.
something for us to discuss. All right.
Nothing else?
No, thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
Thanks for bringing that up. Okay, Amy, we have to go back to the, application. The Bridgeport Sewer District. We need a resolution required for the submission of the WIA application to the Bridgeport Sewer. This is something we have to do a resolution for.
There's a resolution in your packet. Sorry, there's a resolution in your packet. Okay.
So we're looking for a motion to move forward with this?
I don't, to be honest with you, I'm not too up to speed on this. My understanding is we're preparing a lead grant for the Bridgeport Sewer Extension. And the purpose of this resolution, which is required as part of the application, just authorizes the supervisor to submit the application.
So not much choice.
Right.
If we're gonna move forward, we have to do this resolution.
Exactly.
Okay, so looking for a motion?
I'll move it.
Okay, Jeff?
I'll second it.
Second. Okay, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, carried. Thank you. Okay, next, item number 8, our tax levy override.
So many of you are very familiar with this. We do it year in and year out. We've been doing this for how many years? Well over a decade. So it's a safety measure in case you were to exceed the tax cap. You have to have a resolution adopted by 60% of the board in the form of a local law. If you were to exceed the tax cap, you would be penalized. So just like the last years that we've done this, you've got the whole package there, a resolution that introduces the local law. The secret form is in there, it's a negative declaration, obviously, and you set it down for a public hearing. So you're looking for a motion, and a second, vote, and they'll send it off to the public hearing for our October, what's our date? Let's take a look and see. First meeting in October 1st.
October 1st.
Yep. And we'll work with Amy in getting that all put together as needed.
Okay. I'll make the motion. Okay, Dave?
A second.
Okay, carried. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Carried. Okay, next, says broker of record, Eric, enlighten us on this, please.
Sure. Everyone, you should have the sheet in your packet. And what this is doing is this is allowing us to go to Haler, Freyer, and Kuhn, a large insurance company that we've been talking to for a while, different department heads here at the town, about property insurance, all of our other insurance, including our health insurance. And what we're looking to do with this is to have them become the broker of record, so we can discuss with them the health insurance and have everything with the health, dental, Medicare that we're offering to go through them going into the next year. Our prices, because we're under 100 people in our group for the health insurance, the prices don't change. We're just going to get much better customer service with this group. This group work, I believe they work at the village of Chenango, and they work with dozens upon dozens of municipalities across the state, are familiar with municipal laws and such, and I'm asking that we can sign this to move forward so they can start discussing with you the budget now in full mode with budget right now, just so I can discuss with them, get the options available.
We can get out at any time. According to this, with written notice, we can walk away.
You could walk away, right. Ultimately, what we're looking to do is we're waiting on quotes, just be open about everything. We're waiting on quotes also for our other insurance too. We're gonna be, and Andy can definitely vouch for this too. We're gonna be covered the way that we should be. I know that you want to expand more, but I know that it's just with the customer service we're getting there and finally realizing certain policies that we didn't have in place that we should have in place. There's also numerous vehicles, I believe you were saying, that were not covered over the highway. I don't want to speak incorrectly, but I believe that's what we were finding out too. Is that correct?
There were several vehicles that we found that were listed on our policy that we no longer owned. And then we also had an incident where a couple different times where we had $500,000 piece of equipment that was involved in a slow mishap, and we found that vehicle had no coverage. So, and I have email verification that I asked for coverage, and it just fell through the cracks. So, we found, again, I think 12 vehicles that had been sold and asked them to be removed. I don't know where the pickup was, but they were never removed. So we've been paying on several vehicles that we didn't own anymore. Again, some vehicles that we currently have, we didn't have coverage on, and then we were also paying on, I think, 2 pieces of equipment that we rented in the past. We've been paying full coverage insurance on those for like 5 years. We rented them for a season, so there was a lot of things that were.
I believe too, we had like $1,000 deductibles on certain pieces of equipment that just. But what this gentleman or this company, they work with many municipalities. We're just waiting for the quote to come in, sit down, review it, and hopefully if everything makes sense with that, use them with that too. But currently today, that was just more of like an open discussion so everybody knows, but this here today is specifically health insurance and health insurance only. And I'm just asking for a vote and approval so we can get this signed and I can get that back over to them so I can start talking to them tomorrow.
I'll move it. Jeff?
Second.
Yeah. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Carried. Thanks, Eric. Do we have any budget modifications?
As a matter of fact, we do. Sorry about that. We need to do a budget transfer from the lighting district from the contingency fund of $209.90. The reason for these is that we went ahead, which we spoke about and approved a while ago with the new LED lights that's going to be installed, and we're going to do an upfront cost of around $6,000, and then we'll eventually, when those LEDs get in place, we'll get back roughly $11,000, but we just needed that initial cost, which then puts us over on a couple of the lines that we divvied out. So I'm asking for a budget amendment from the contingency SL 1990, $4,209.90, and that's going to be split up between the SL 5182.4910, which is North Chuzango, $95.62, the SL 5182.4920, which is the Bridgeport Lighting District, $66.36, and then the SL 5182.4960, which is Filer Road, for $47.92, which totals the $209.90.
So moved.
Second. Dave? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you.
All right, I don't believe we have any firefighter applications, sir? Okay. Keep recruiting, guys.
Yeah.
More the better. Okay, next thing we usually do at the end is take comments from people in the audience. Okay, you have your hand up.
I would like to just circle back to standardizing the width of the town roads.
Okay.
I left out part on this particular road, Tag Road. The math on that was the savings over $50,000 just to pave it. So standardizing it, narrowing it to where it should be. So it was quite a significant savings. So people ask me, why did you go the road? So
Okay,
several reasons, but we saved over $50,000 just in material.
okay, thank you. You were under 3 minutes too. Yeah, we kind of want to limit this to 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
And it's just somebody getting up and speaking and telling us their thoughts and intentions. And we're just kind of, we're listening. We're listening. So, okay, our first person, Mr. Green, would like to come up to the mic? Sure. Help yourself.
Good evening, how is everyone?
Good, how are you?
Unfortunately, this brings me no pleasure to bring this information to you tonight. However, there's no other forum for me to address the town board as a whole and submit this information. But it became apparent to me recently, there's been some allegations with our code and zoning officer, Ray Wall, Tom Sullivan, that he may be engaging in some illegal construction activity on his own property. And I did an extensive FOIL research through our town clerk, and I have an information pack I want to give to you. I do want to point out that Mr. Laney and his law firm represent both this town board and Mr. Ball, and so he must be recused in this matter. I do request you hire independent counsel, review this material, and take their advisement on what to do. But if you come to the same conclusion I came, and in this information, and it's true, then I feel it calls for Mr. Ball's immediate removal. So I'm going to leave this with our clerk to give to you. And again, sorry I had to bring this in this morning. You guys have a great evening.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, is there someone else who would like to speak? A lot of people are tonight, so that's good. Well, thanks everybody coming. I'd like a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Dan, all in favor? Aye. Thanks everybody for coming tonight.